Hey everybody, it's been a minute since we've done one of these, so welcome back into the into this place that we meet on the internets. We we have a couple big updates to talk about today. Scott's going to join me in a second, but there's also some funny things that happened, some shenanigans, which we will also get into. So I'm just going to bring Scott in right away because there's a lot to talk about, and he's been driving a lot of it. So let's get him in here.
Hey, good morning.
Hello.
Good
How are
morning
you?
for me. Good,
Yes.
man. How are you? It feels
Not too
so
bad.
weird being back in
I know.
Restream. We haven't
I
been here
know.
for so long.
I know.
I had to come in yesterday and do a refresher for about
That's
5
right.
minutes. Yeah.
Right before we went live, I was like, "Hey, I haven't done this in a while. I don't even know if I know where everything is." It's
Yeah.
been weird, but yeah, because we've been
Yeah.
doing a lot of stuff with OBS and just going right to Discord, so it's been a while. And as you also noticed, probably if you're tuning in right now, we're not on Twitch right now. It's because we're an affiliate over at Twitch. We want to get a little bit more practice, and we want to experiment a little bit with the other platforms, and we can't do that at the same time as Twitch. We have to kind of basically separate the streams. So I'm not saying that we're putting an end to Twitch, but right now we are investigating these other platforms, including making better use of our YouTube channels, which might seem counterintuitive if everyone's used to going over to Twitch. But that's how we roll. We like to experiment when the stakes are high. So let's talk about the shenanigans. Let's start with shenanigans.
So can I just get from the audience, hands up, who already knows what the challenge is? I think that's the best way to do it.
That's a good way to bring it up.
So for a bit of context, I was going to wake up and publish everything this morning as we were going live. So everyone would come here and find out the big reveal, what the challenge is, and then and then we could direct everyone to the web page and get the rigs. And anyway, there's some stuff going on in Discord. I wake up to all these messages sort of saying everyone knows what the challenge is, and it's because the rigs have already dropped on the page. And I'm like, what the hell is going
what? Yeah.
So it turns out there's some bugs in the system that we get to look at now. So that's all good. But,
well, I mean, it's the first time we've done something like this.
It
Basically,
is.
You know, let me give you a little bit of background. So, as you probably have noticed, February has come and gone, and there was no 24-hour challenge. And I'm sure that was disappointing for many of you because a lot of you really enjoyed that challenge. And I'm not saying it's gone forever. That's by no means what you should take out of this. What this is more, this is instead more of an experiment with what else we can do, either in possibly instead or in addition to. So, rather than just having like a monthly challenge, which we would like to do, it'd be nice if maybe like every once in a while, maybe like quarterly, we do a bit more of a bigger challenge with higher stakes and we back it up a little bit more than we normally do with with interviews from VIP guests that are somehow associated with the theme that the month is sort of organized within. So this is the first one we're going to be doing. So there is a lot of new things that are happening this time around on this sort of prototype, bigger sort of AnimChallenge. But I don't know, where should we start? I guess we should start at the theme itself. Let's
drop it.
Let's play the video.
Yeah,
let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. So we're going to let this video speak for itself. And then what we're going to do is try to fill in some of the information. And then we're going to stick around for a little while for Q&A because this is newer and there's probably there's going to definitely be some questions. So let's sort of handle those in a timely fashion right afterwards. So let me cue the video and we'll be right back.
Awesome.
Drum roll. Do a drum roll? And drum I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. High adrenaline.
Man, it pumps me up every time I watch it. Tram did such a good job editing that.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
So as you can see, we are going with a Star Wars theme this time around. And there's a bit of a catch to this one. As you probably noticed a little bit in either the posters or even in this video, we talk about choosing a side. So basically the idea is supposed to be that you need to depict something in the universe of Star Wars, but you need it to sort of be somehow indicating a sort of dark or light side victory is basically it. So that could turn into the obvious lightsaber battle for sure, but it doesn't have to be. I think there's lots of ways of sort of ingeniously thinking laterally on this. It's just, and you don't even have to, you don't have to depict light and dark as long as you choose one of them and then have some sort of story to tell. So, so there's a lot of room to be creative here. As you will also notice, this is the first time that Agora Studio has done this, and we are planning on doing this quite a bit moving forward, is they have supplied a rig, a studio quality rig for this challenge. Which is interesting because it allows us to embark on a new journey with regards to assets on the Agora community site. We are in the process of building a family of free to access Agora community rigs built by Agora Studio, but it's not just built by, it is also going to be supported by. And I think that's a really, really big difference. We've struggled a little bit with having a lot of really great rigs on our site, and we know that they're popular. People are coming there all the time. We take a look at the Google Analytics regularly, and a lot of people are hitting our asset page. But We also find ourselves in a situation where we're often trying to support rigs that we never made, and sometimes that can lead to a lot of frustration. So it's not that we're going to stop hosting other community, other rigs that live outside of our community. We will continue to do that, but there's going to be definitely a differentiation between those and these. I keep calling them homegrown. I don't know what we're going to call them, but basically Agora Studio built rigs. So this is pretty exciting because we know that by using that, you're going to be dealing with top level quality rigs, because it's the same kind of rigs that animators at Agora Studio would be using, because they're using the same pipeline to make them. So there's that. What else, Scott?
Yeah. So, as you said,
So many
yeah,
things to talk about.
there's so many things to talk about.
I
Yeah.
know.
So,
Prizes?
the prizes, yeah. Just quickly, we do have questions starting to pop up
Oh
about the
yeah,
rules. We'll do a Q&A in a minute.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
just add a Q colon to the beginning of your question, and we'll pin that one. So, yeah. Now, another reason why what this is kind of going all in, it's to also celebrate the work. And I don't know if this is something we can say, but Agora has done some work on an upcoming Star Wars project that's
Yep.
dropping on Disney Plus very soon. You saw a snippet of the trailer in the announcement video, so that's another reason why this is kind of a celebration of the work that they contributed to that. Plus,
Yep.
so, hence the General Grievous rig and kind of those big cash prizes as well. So let's lead into those prizes, because
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
huge.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Biggest
It's the first time.
yeah.
Normally, as you know, a lot of you in the gallery here are probably familiar with Anim Challenges. I'm sure that most of you have at least watched and interacted in some way, and many of you have probably actually submitted work to the Anim Challenge. So, you already know that basically the way it works is there's 3 winners, and those winners, there's basically some prize categories. Everyone gets a T-shirt, and the top winner gets basically their work broken down by some expert. We're changing it up a little bit this time, and we're making the stakes quite a bit higher. As you can see, the grand prize is going to come at it's basically $3,000, which is pretty big jump from a T-shirt, and it also comes with a maquette, which is oh wait, no, that's not true.
Nope.
I forgot. We had an old ideas. I don't want to muddy the waters here. Sorry, Scott. Actually, you go through the rules. I mean the prizes, because I might
Prizes?
screw it up again.
Okay, no worries. So yeah,
The different cash prizes and then community prize.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I don't know if I should state that it's Canadian dollars. So for some people in the world, that's probably good. If you're in the States, maybe not. But
Yeah.
yeah, but it will be so 3,000 for the top prize. Now the first top 3 are also going to be receiving the T-shirt, and we're also throwing in there some copies of the Visions Art of book. I think that's from the first season. So that just gives away the project that Agora worked on.
Yeah.
Now, now because it's so big, we just kind of didn't want to go with the top 3. So we're actually throwing in kind of 5 honorable mentions, because you do get really good submissions in the challenge. And we thought it'd be great to kind of honor them as well. And so they'll just be getting the T-shirt and a copy of the book as well. Now, the community prizes.
That's right.
Seen. So Brent, maybe you can have a talk about the actual community.
Now that my brain is rejogged. Yeah. So as Scott said, there's a first prize, second prize, third prize. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't even say. So second prize is 1,000 Canadian, and third prize is 350.
That's right. And then there is a group of runner-ups. I don't remember how many we have. I think it was 5 of them.
Yep, the 5 honorable mentions.
Runner-ups. Yep. And so their idea here is, like Scott said, we want to make sure that that we want to try to make it so you have a better chance in getting up to the top. It's really hard. Top 3 out of all these amazing submissions is really tricky. And I know a lot of you have probably come very close on several occasions. So we wanted to try to find a way of democratizing that a little bit more, so that we're adding this sort of runner-up category where there's a bunch of people that are as long as they're within the top, selects, they are going to get at least some sort of recognition for that. So the idea of the pick a side, the way this is going to work is we are going to end up taking in community votes. So what you're going to want to basically do is vote on your favorite dark side and your favorite light side submission, and the winner with the most the dark side winner will get an amazing General Grievous maquette from Sideshow Collectibles, and the winner of the light side gets I don't know how to pronounce her name. Is it Ahsoka? I think it's just
Ahsoka,
Ahsoka. Yeah.
Tana, yeah.
There's a really nice maquette of, and so which also I don't know if was it in the video. I don't remember if I saw any footage of her, because we have a community rig that's Ahsoka, so that might be a
Mhm.
really great choice for some of you if you wanted to, choose the light side. So
That's right.
the winner of the light side submission would get the figurine, an Ahsoka one.
Yep. Exactly. So, yeah, yeah, huge prize pool this time.
Yeah, it's a
So
little bit
cool.
crazy. We've never done it
Yeah.
before, like I said, and the idea here is to try to attract more people to join the challenge, because we see how much growth happens when people jump in there and they focus on making something. Because this sounds maybe a little bit broken record-ish, but I always say that the best way to learn is to do, and that's basically what
Mhm.
Agora Community was born out of, is this concept of just give people the information that they need to learn, and then provide them opportunities to make things, and then also provide them opportunities to get their stuff reviewed in some way, and that's how you learn. So basically, we want more people to be incentivized to learn. And so another thing we could talk about is guests. So we've started lining up some VIP guests, people that have worked inside the Star Wars universe space in a variety of different ways. They're going to be coming in, and there's some of them are going to be judges, some of them we're going to have conversations with. And the idea is to use our Tuesday stream nights across the rest of this month as basically ways of hosting those kind of interactions. So, and we also hope that we're going to bring somebody in to do the top prize submission will be broken down by one of these people as well. So that's sort of gives us a taste of the good old days when we were doing conversations with. It just so happens that we have a really good theme to sort of sink our teeth into, and be able to invite certain people to the streams.
Yeah, absolutely. So keep an eye out on that. We'll probably be posting those across socials and in Discord as well. We haven't decided when we'll be doing them. Oh, sorry, not when, but where as well, Brent. So we'll have a chat about that, whether
Yeah.
we do them.
By the way, I love GC's comment where,
I pinned that.
Ahsoka's on the gray side. That is that is a good argument. That is a good argument.
Yeah, it's a rig we already had. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
we stretched the rule, the canon rules a little bit there.
exactly.
Okay, so is it so? I think we cover most of the things. I think we can kind of switch to Q&A mode. So
yeah,
if you did have a question, that just maybe just make sure I'm gonna try to scroll up and look for them. Make sure you put a colon. Oh, you already did it? Oh, you did. You're amazing.
Just
You're
like
awesome.
old
Okay.
times. Yep.
It is just like old times. Okay, good. So I'm just gonna hit them one at a time. I'm gonna bring it up, and we'll do our best to answer them. So Manx asks, will the rigs be available for both Maya and Blender? So the short answer is no, not really, not officially. The General Grievous has been done with Maya, because that's basically the Agora Studio pipeline uses Maya, as most professional studios do. I understand, we all understand actually, that a lot of people will be frustrated by this, because there's a big movement of Blender users in our community, and we're trying to address this, and it's going to just take a little while. We have some people that are actually re-rigging characters in Blender. We have like kind of there's a bunch of people that are into rigging in the community, and they even have their own Discord server, and they've been awesome to supply rigs to the community, and also provide support to the community. So just a quick shout out to any of the sort of the Agora rig community people. I know that they had plans to sort of try to prepare more things for the challenge, so they may trickle in. But I can't make any promises, that's for sure. So I know we have an Ahsoka rig that's in Maya. We have a General Grievous one, which is an Agora Studio one that's also a Maya. Now, that's not stopping you from going and finding Star Wars based. I mean, you don't even need like a Star Wars character. I think as long as it feels like a Star Wars character, like you could put a lightsaber in just about anybody's hand, and it would feel like a Star Wars character. So we're going to be pretty forgiving in that particular capacity, as long as it clearly feels like there was an attempt to make it Star Wars universe. You'll be fine.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Exactly.
I'd like to see the day when I can answer yes to this question. I just don't know when that's going to be. But I think I feel like that's where the winds are blowing. It's just we're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah, so just as you kind of touched on there, and it's in the rules. So yes, you don't have to use a Star Wars character, but as long as there's elements of Star Wars in there, so a lightsaber battle, even if it's a completely different character rig, that sort of stuff.
That's right. And I'm going to stress this, because what this means is, if you don't do that, then it won't qualify. It will not. It'll be disqualified. I'm not saying it won't end up. We can put it in a gallery and people can see your work. It just won't. It certainly won't get to like the top 25, and it won't be considered for a prize. So just keep that in mind. And so if you're not interested in the prize and you just want to use this challenge as an incentive to make something, then please do. I just want to be very clear that you will be basically opting out of the prize, because we want to make sure that part of the challenge is like they do over at 11 Second Club and all these other sort of types of challenges. It's like your ability to somehow work within the theme inside that sandbox is actually a really important skill you need to develop if you're going to be a professional animator. And this is one of the reasons why we want to be kind of serious about this in some way. So next question.
Beautiful. Yeah.
All right. This is from Lacey Vernon. Would we be disqualified if we animated a character from both light and dark to show contrast between the two, if that makes sense? Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I believe that that's probably going to be the lion's share of what we get. Not that I mean, maybe erase what I just said, because I don't want that to, send you in that direction on purpose, because you don't need to. But I just, again, when I think of light versus dark, I think lightsaber battle, but I can also think of a million other things that can be done. You can just have one light or dark, but one thing that needs to be true is if you do depict light and dark, there needs to be a winner.
Yep.
Which means you picked a side, basically.
Yeah. And should we say, if you don't want to go for those statues and you do just want to do a Star Wars themed animation, then you won't go up for those the community favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
I think
by all means, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? Like if you do want to go for those community favorite the statues, then by all means have a clear winner of the light versus the dark.
Oh yes. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, it's. I think you should. I think you should be doing that anyways, because I think that's the whole point, is this light versus dark. I just. But yes, you're definitely. If you don't have a winner, if you do two characters and there's no obvious winner, then you would be basically disqualifying yourself from the community one. You're right. Picking a side is all. That's like almost a mini game inside of this competition, which is basically, as an animator, you can choose: are you for the light or for the dark, and you will depict that in some way in your animation, and that also enters you this sort of booty prize, this little side prize, which is the community challenge, where people are going to vote on their favorite light and their favorite dark sort of animations.
Yep.
If that's not clear, then basically just ask the question again, and we'll try to be more clear. Next question. Dom's Animation Studios. Can you use both sides? And can rigs work in Unity? Also, is UK okay? For sure, you can enter from wherever you are in the world. Our community is 100% global, so no problem there. And can rigs work in Unity? I don't really know what you mean by that, because I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure what you're getting at with the Unity question.
So I think it's, can our rigs on the website be transferred into Unity?
Some of them. Game engines are always a little bit tricky when it comes to rigs as to how they need to be constructed. There's some things that need to be true more often than not. One of the main things that has to usually be true is that you need one skeletal hierarchy and only one root node. You can't have multiple sort of roots for a character. That tends to break everything. It can be done, I guess, but it's very unconventional. It would not use your typical sort of pipeline. But some of our rigs are absolutely game engine friendly, 100%. But you'd have to test them. I don't know which ones are, because I can almost guarantee you not all of them are. And yes, you can use both sides. We already answered that question, so I think you already have that. Next question. There's a shotgun question. Questions and answers. So Neo C. We choose one side, but we need to animate two characters. Basically, choose who is the winner or taking advantage in the fight. Maybe exactly. One needs to be clearly you don't have to kill the other one, but one of them needs to be winning. You need to basically claim victory for either the light or the dark, and then we need to be able to understand that by watching your animation. You don't need to choose both sides necessarily. Like I was saying earlier, you can only just choose one. I think that by choosing one, you would have a hard time decisively showing visually that there's a light versus dark winner. So I think you're probably going to have to. I think for the people that are going to think of it like a stretch goal, you could just do anything in the Star Wars universe, and you could pick either a light or a dark if you wanted to, and just animate something really awesome inside the Star Wars universe. And then you could be basically, if you do that, you'll end up being able to be chosen for one of the top prizes. if you wanted to extend that add an extra challenge, you would be animating a light and a dark character, and one of them needs to be victorious and very clearly victorious, or have the upper hand, as you put it, or taking the advantage. Then that way you also get entered immediately into the possibility of winning the community prize, which is the maquette, right? There's 2 maquette prizes, one for the light side and one for the dark side.
Yep. Awesome.
Next one. We choose on a side, but we need to animate 2 characters. So yes, technically, if you wanted to be entered into the community prize, if you wanted that, you're going to need to be able to do. And there's lots of clever ways of making that very easy, right? You don't need to fully animate 2 characters equally. Maybe one character has only got maybe only has 1 shot. Now, there's lots of ways of thinking laterally to this problem. So I don't want you to think that what we're trying to do is basically kill you by asking you to do too much animation in 1 month. Part of the challenge is figuring out a way, is watching how you solve that problem in an efficient and also a very meaningful and very aesthetically pleasing way. Can we see the prizes again? Well, I think you can go and see the prizes, I think, online. They've already been posted, right, Scott? Maybe you can
yeah, so the website's online. I've only listed the prizes, but maybe I'll jump back in there and add some links to the statues and the book so you can actually see what they are. That's a good point. Thanks for bringing that up. It's an oversight. So give it about an hour or so, and then you can go to the AnimChallenge page on the Agora.Community website. Yeah, and it'll be there. Yeah, I'll link to them.
Yeah, Agora.Community is, of course, our home base. That's basically our website where basically we do most of our stuff. It's our hub, and there's an actual AnimChallenge button at the top that will bring you to the special page designed only for communicating important information for every challenge every month.
Yep.
Okay. Next question by Karina. What is seen as light and dark? So, I mean, this all comes down to your interpretation, I guess, but because we're talking about Star Wars universe, then we're talking about the light side of the Force and the dark side of the Force. And, if you've watched any Star Wars, then you should already have several ideas as to, how you can, think laterally on that particular theme. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, it really comes down to your basic understanding of the lore behind the Star Wars universe. And I know some of you kids these days might not have seen the original ones, but back in my day, it's my grumpy old man speech.
Yeah. Thanks, bro.
Yeah. So next question, dribbling. I like that. Does the rig characters define the side or the actions of the animation we decide? I don't know exactly what you mean by that. I think that.
Yeah. So could a stormtrooper basically be on the light side?
Yeah, I think so. Again, what I think the most important thing here is to think about the visual language of what you're doing, right? It needs, if you notice, I was carefully saying the phrase, it needs to be depicted. I don't think I used the word depicted before, but the light versus dark is done through a multitude of different options. It could be a very clearly iconic dark side, which is, it's funny because if you talk if you're talking with stormtroopers, if you go deep enough in the lore, stormtroopers were originally not necessarily viewed as the enemy, but there's a bit of a twist in the backstory of Star Wars. But I think most people would see a stormtrooper today and be like, oh, okay, that's definitely the dark side, because they basically work for the Federation, right? Or the Imperial, the Empire. So yeah, this is, I don't want to be too specific here. It's up to you to make sure that you're very clear on choosing and communicating there's light versus dark and that you've chosen a winner in your animation. So we're all curious to see how you're going to, this is if you've done a 24-hour challenge before, you'll know that we had a twist to that. We announced at the very, very beginning, of the challenge, was it 3 words? I think it was only 3 words, right?
Yeah.
We picked 3 random words basically, and you needed to find a way of connecting those words into a theme. So think of this challenge of light versus dark and picking a winner as that extra twist, where you're not just animating something, you're communicating something. And I think that's the key. So you're going to have to kind of come up with a plan on how you're going to depict picked a winner in the light versus dark if you wanted to, get access to the secondary prize.
Yep.
Next question.
Okay. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I pinned that because I liked it. I wanted us to both see that. So
yeah. Well, I mean, these
maybe
I think
one
that
day.
yeah, maybe one day. I think that the rig is obviously going to be pretty complicated for obvious reasons. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those rigs for any Transformer productions, but they're intense. But yeah, I think I really like this idea of having a big challenge every once in a while, having bigger stakes, and making sure we make a big deal about it by putting the extra effort in having a really good sort of professional rig built for it. It's there's all kinds of good about this. So this is all just a big experiment right now. We're going to see how this all goes and how everyone enjoys it. And I think at the end of the month we'll have a better ideas how it went and whether we should be doing a lot more of this or if we want to make some changes. Next question is from JV Animations. Has live stream recording been sorted?
So there has been moments where we've been trying to figure out the Discord streaming and recording. So I know that sometimes when we do the live frame by frame breakdowns, we don't have access to the recording. It's close to being worked on, not worked on, but we've been working on it. Yeah, so maybe for this challenge, we might actually stream through Restream because we do actually get the recording automatically. So we'll probably look at doing something like that. Yep,
absolutely. Yeah, like this stream right now, for instance, is automatically going to be available on our YouTube channels because YouTube, we're streaming there. So that's just an automatic sort of feature that YouTube provides. It just basically archives it, makes it available in case you missed it, because we obviously know that not everyone could make this live stream. Okay, good.
Okay.
Next one by Marta. Light side being tricked by dark side would be still fitting the theme? Absolutely. It's like, I think, again, you tell me. Again, I don't want to be too prescriptive. Victorious. There needs to be, you're picking a side. So as long as the trick works, if the light side tricks the dark side and that trick basically doesn't backfire on them, then yeah, I would say in that particular scenario, you're depicting the light side as the winner. If otherwise maybe the dark side, they try that, but it backfires and the dark side is the winner. As long as there's some sort of winner, is clearly looking at it like someone has the upper hand. Either there was a saber battle and one of them wins, or they're just shooting hoops and the light side has more points. Like, I mean, who knows what you can do with this? That's my point. Like, there's a lot that can be done.
See that.
So would I. So I think you got to think laterally on this, and I think you don't be super worried. Picking a winner is up to you how you show that, and how well you show that will I think determine it'll be a factor in the judging. Basically, it's not just going to be the animation quality; it's about how you basically went about sort of trying to broadcast that particular message.
Yeah, Marta, you've got another question that's similar that you've just posted. So does that answer your question? We'll. Vignesh, who spoke about Transformers, says they're working on the Transformers series, and it was difficult, or it is difficult. So.
I would imagine. I've never worked on a Transformers project before, but I've heard tales. So next question, CC Massey asks whether you can use Star Wars assets off of the Agora, like outside of the Agora website. Absolutely. You are always allowed to use whatever you want. The assets that we provide on our community is just to make it easier for people who may not have an established set of obvious websites to go to get good rigs. Because I remember when I was new, I didn't know where to go. As a matter of fact, the internet wasn't quite what it is now back when I was learning this stuff. So it would be particularly difficult finding just rigs. These days, the rigs are just a dime a dozen out there if you know where to look, but you might not know where to look. So we make sure we collected some pretty notably awesome rigs and we made sure we contacted the or at least we tried to do this, contact the people behind the rigs and make sure that they're okay with us having it on there. We're probably going to make some changes the way we do that. I'd rather be hosting those by pointing to the websites where you can find them rather than basically having them on our website. I feel like there's too much room for interpretation on that, and I don't want anyone to think that we're saying that we're making those rigs, because we're not. We will be making rigs, and they will be clearly identified as the Agora made rigs. But anyways, yes, to answer your question, absolutely, wherever you want to go to get your rigs and your assets, by all means, go wherever you want. You can. Some people are probably going to make their own assets because they're crazy and they have.
Yeah.
They work at the speed of light. Almost out of question. All right. Well, the questions are still rolling in.
Yeah.
Arkaloon asks.
Arkaloon. Are some of the rigs not available for Blender? So maybe because people are rolling in late, we can just sort of reiterate, just kind of no, they're
So
not.
no. They're the rigs that we're supplying. Well, there are a bunch of Blender rigs on our community rigs page, but the Agora Studio rigs, the Pro rigs that we're going to be building, are not going to be by default built for Blender. Agora Studio is a professional studio, so they tend to work with Maya. There are not many studios that are pro level that are working with Blender yet. And so we're still focusing most of our energy on Maya. I love it to get to the point where we are able to regularly offer Blender rigs.
Yep.
We're just not there yet.
Yep. Beautiful.
Okay, you can field the questions for a while, Scott. I've been hogging the airwaves.
Okay. Any specifics, limitations for the video format, FPS, resolution, aspect ratio, etc.? No, there's no specifics. The time limit is 10 to 15 seconds. Video format, as long as we can watch it, I guess. Frames per second.
But I think you should be using common sense here, and the common sense would say H.264 is probably your best bet. Even H.265 would be fine because it's even got a better ratio of quality and versus footprint size. But I think H.264 should get you pretty much where you got to be. And I don't know what you're going to be using to compress it, but if you're using some proper software to do it, there'll be usually some presets that allow you to dial in the quality. So just what I would suggest is make sure you watch it before you post it. Don't be like, yeah, it's awesome, and then compress it and then send it right away in. No. Look at it first. Make sure it plays and make sure that it doesn't look like garbage before sending it in, because these things happen. And the only way to make sure that they don't is you have to proof the thing before handing it in. That's this is a good skill to develop as well. Good reflex.
Yeah, exactly. So nothing over kind of a gig would be nice. And also, if you want, add your name to the shot. We know that we used to put the names on the compilation videos, but then it just got to a point where people weren't adding their names or anything like that. So it's handy to just submit your name if you do want it displayed. And also zip files. We do get a lot of zip files uploaded. If you can just upload your shot, would be a big help as well. Then we won't have to go through and kind of unzip them.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay, next question.
Is this challenge open to anyone? Absolutely. Yep. We don't disclude. Is that the right word? I don't know. It's too early.
Yeah. No, we don't. We're an equal opportunity competition. We basically it doesn't matter where you are, who you are, what language you speak, whether you're we want everybody in here. So absolutely. And I think I get the feeling that this is more of a question of, is it okay that if I'm a working professional, am I allowed to compete? Then yes. We have not denied professionals from entering our competitions, because we believe that it's I think it's super important that we all feel like we're all part of a global community, and we want to value pros to be interacting with our events as much as people that are just learning at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're new to this, Vincenzo, and by all means join our Discord as well if you haven't already, if you've just sort of stumbled across this. So there's a whole bunch going on in that Discord, a lot of people you can connect with, and other artists that are both professional and on their journey to becoming a professional. So by all means, get on board. Okay. Giddy up. Let's go. So the next question, can we use plugins like Overlapper or Ragdoll, or does it have to be full keyframe? You can do whatever you want.
Well, I would, the only thing I would say is not motion capture. I think that I would draw the line at motion capture. I think that by using Ragdoll, I think is okay, because theoretically it's not like you've just I don't know. I feel like ragdoll should be a tool that allows you to enhance things. Like if you have secondary parts of the character you want to be bouncing around, I think you need to be very careful not to basically. I don't. I think if you try to use ragdoll completely to animate the whole thing, it would probably be difficult anyways. So I mean, if you could somehow manage to use ragdoll and make it look as good as some of the best keyframe animations that we're going to get, then I guess basically good job. But motion capture, I think, is where I would draw the line.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
At some point, maybe we will allow for some of that, but I think that it's a little tricky because most people, it's kind of hard, right? Because I mean, mocap can look really, really good, and it's difficult and unfair if people don't have access to making sure that. I mean, maybe when Move AI becomes even more easy to access, I don't know if people have played with this at all, but Move AI is basically video based. And all you need is like 2 iPhones. Crazy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
and it produces
Having
pretty good results.
said that, when they were setting up the Grievous rig, it
Yeah.
is motion capture ready. So they did
Mm.
record a tutorial on how to do motion capture. Just so you know, when you download the rig and open it, that is in there. But
Mm.
also take on board what Brent was just saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
This is an anim challenge, not a mocap challenge. So I want to
Yep,
make sure that it stays at least in the keyframe realm.
for sure.
Next question.
Devon Turner, is May 31st a deadline to submit the animations? Yes, there is a little bit of grace because we're a global community and I don't have my head around every single time zone and the differences.
Yeah.
There is usually a day or so grace. I have been speaking with our web technician, and we are thinking of making it so that when the countdown ends, and that's another cool thing on the website, we've now added a countdown timer to when the challenge will end. We're thinking of cutting off that submit button as soon as that countdown ends, and then reopening it a couple of weeks later for the actual next challenge. So for now, for this challenge, there's a couple of days grace, 1 or 2. So yep. All right. Can you repeat the challenge theme for those who are a bit late?
We're only saying it once. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. You'll
Maybe
see. Go ahead,
go on.
Scott.
No,
No, go
go
ahead.
for it.
Okay, so
No.
Scott's going to be dropping the video that we showed, which is basically the big unveil video. It's very, very high octane. He'll be dropping that basically right after the stream, so you'll be able to see. But just to let you know, it is Star Wars Light versus Dark is the general theme. But I would encourage you to go to our AnimChallenge page on our Agora.Community website if you want the specifics on the rules and everything, because it's got everything there, including it will also include the prizes somewhat soon. I think Scott needs to update the page for that, but it will have that very soon as well.
Yep. Awesome.
Here we go. Another question.
Okay. Chandaras, I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Can it be a dark light themed Star Wars single character shot? Excuse me, maybe an obstacle course with one character or a fight with victory conditions.
So I think that the key would be that I think without having the verses part, you'd have a hard time. Like you can do this absolutely, but I don't think you'd be able to be included in the light versus dark part of the competition, because you need like, I think you kind of need to have like it's a stretch goal, like I said, basically for those who want to actually animate light and dark and then pick a winner. They are automatically, so let's say I choose the light and I do a lightsaber battle because that's all I can think of, and the dark side wins the battle. Basically, it ends with the light person on the ground and the dark person towering over them, like as if they're going to deal the killing blow. That clearly is light versus dark, and I chose the dark side. Meanwhile, Scott might animate something, but it's like a light Jedi playing with a dark Sith Lord, and they're playing hoops, and it's the light side basically wins because they get the most points, and the dark side is like it's just slumping in defeat, and the light side's running around doing some annoying victory dance. I think you can all tell what side I would pick at this point.
Yeah.
Right? But anyways, I think that's the theme in a nutshell.
Yep. Okay, next up. Okay, Chris, do we post our submissions on the Facebook page, or are we not allowed to post our submissions until after judging, like 24-hour challenge? That's a good question. Now, I'm still getting used to how AnimChallenge has been running in the past.
Mhm.
I think you can post them on the Facebook page. That's fine. We are still kind of the gatekeepers, I think, for that, and we'll release them if you do submit them. But go for it. Yeah, I haven't seen any issue with that in the past. Maybe if Tabby
Yeah.
or Veronica are in the chat, they might be able to confirm that. But yeah, and if you do want to submit your shot, it's on the Agora website. So if you just post it to Facebook, it won't be considered a
Not a
submission.
submission.
It
Yeah, you're
needs to
basically
be in
showing a
our
whip
folder.
or something like that. Yeah.
Yep,
People do
exactly.
that because they just want to show what they did and maybe get some feedback on it even. So, and
Mhm.
I think that's a great way to do it. And I imagine we'll see a lot of this in Discord as well this month, where people are just sort of sharing ideas and building off one another, helping each other out, giving some feedback. So yeah, I think, and I know that something we've talked about, there's often a lot of anxiety after posting to make sure that did they get it? Is it okay? Was it well received? And so what we'd like to get to, and I don't know if we'll be able to get to that on this particular challenge, but we do like the idea of being able to post to a gallery. And so like you be able to post it and then you can go and check to see if it's actually there in the gallery right away, which is basically a confirmation of your submission. That's something because we know that we get it. We get that it's kind of a little scary to just basically submit something without any actual real validation that it got to us and it works. So we'll see if we can get something like that up and running this time around. But otherwise, it'll in worst case it'll be just like the way all Anim challenges are run up, like have been running up to this point.
Yep, beautiful.
Next one.
Okay, Karina. Hello, Karina. Does it have to be a fight combat between the line? Nope, absolutely not. It could be
Just needs to be a winner.
Just needs to be a winner.
Yeah, like I
as
said,
our
playing
favorite
hoops, playing chess.
yeah.
Like they could be doing it. Like as a matter of fact, I think that there's opportunity and some quite a bit of hilarity here, right? Is to rethink it. I think that the late cyber battle is going to be a popular choice because it's obvious and it fits nicely in the universe, and it's great if you really like animating action shots. And I think they're going to be epic, but I think they can be just as awesome if you kind of surprise us with something that is kind of a complete tangential thought on the theme of what is considered versus it could be so many things, right? So anyways, I'll let you decide what that means. Scott, you have a question.
Okay, now to follow up with this, yes. How can we share what side we've chosen? This is a fun little thing that we came up with, and we did this in the 24-hour Ultimate Anim Challenge as well. And that's to create these fun little badges that people can share across social media. So we have this one saying, I choose the light side.
Yeah.
And we've also created this one. Oh, it's got to download. Hang on a sec. I choose the dark side. So they're on the website. They have some little share buttons on them, but you can also download them and just post them on social media, just to kind of share your allegiance with
That's
your
right.
friends and just spread the word about the challenge as well.
That's right.
Just
This is optional. This is 100% optional, but yeah, we do like the idea of just sharing with your own communities and other Discord channels, just to spread the word that we're doing something big this time around. Just make sure you hashtag Agora Community so people know where to find us, so they can maybe even join in. Because again, the reason why we're going big on this and making some pretty decent sized prizes is because we want to draw a big crowd. We're very curious to see what happens when we put it out there in a big way. Well, we're very curious to see what kind of submissions happen. So
yeah, absolutely.
And so like this would be a lot like when I don't know if you guys remember, like it was very popular, like t-shirts were very popular during Game of Thrones. People were like walking around with their House Stark shirts, like it's just a way of just having fun and celebrating early on which side you chose, which is going to foreshadow a little bit probably what your animation is going to be, which side you've chosen, right?
Yep. Okay. Absolutely. All right. Next up. Now I'm going to keep my share screen here. And are the rigs already available? Yes, they are. And if you bear with me for a moment, I'll show you. I've got the Grievous rig loaded up here. There's some really cool stuff. And while I've got everyone's attention, I'll just show you some of the things you might need to look out for. So yeah, this is the rig. But inside the folder, we also have this IKFK script. So
there's a README file.
There's a README file. There's a tool walkthrough as well. But essentially, you can drag and drop this onto the scene, and it creates this little menu, Agora IKFK tools. And let's see if I can do it properly. All right, so if we split the IK FK arm, so just select the hand there and you hit split, it splits Grievous's hands. Very, very cool. And also it's got the IK FK switch, so when you hit that, it will switch from IK FK. So there are some other things you might need to be careful of, depending on what version of Maya you're using. When you load it up, the textures might be very dark. Inside that folder, there's also a script that will fix that. So texture fix is in there. It's a Python script that you just copy and paste into the script editor and run it. That'll fix the textures issue. Any other tech issues that you run across, jump into our Discord. You can post the comment on the website as well, and yeah, we'll see what we can do to fix the problem for you. But it's a very cool rig. I haven't played around with it a ton, but yeah, it's pretty versatile. So I can't wait to see what people do with it.
Okay, next question. What's the maximum duration and is it necessary to render the animation with film quality? I can't remember the maximum duration. What was it again, Scott? 15 seconds or something?
10 to 15 seconds.
10 to 15.
Yep.
And the rendering, absolutely not. You can make it, you can hand in a play blast. That's all. I mean, some people are going to definitely render it and they may stand out because of it. And it, and I would be lying if I didn't say that, the final look and polish of the piece won't be somehow factored into the decision-making process and who the winners are, because I think that's just natural. But we will definitely try to focus our energy on the merits of the animation and the way that you've decided to handle the theme. I think are the key contributing factors towards the judging for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next up.
Sorry, I'm late. So the challenge as much as is light versus dark, and you need to choose a winner through visual storytelling. I think you probably already have an answer to this question by now, so I'm going to probably just skip over this one.
Mm-hmm.
But so the answer is yes. But you don't need to. You don't have to choose a light and dark and versus. You could just go light or dark, but just means that you're automatically are now basically not going to be able to access the community prize, which is only animations that depict a victory of light or the dark. I think we all know the answer to this question. Definitely dark all the way.
Definitely the dark side. It's so much fun.
Can we use audio from Star Wars? That's a very good question. I mean, I would probably, I think it depends. Like I would recommend staying away from music. Probably, because my worry is always what's going to end up happening is if when we want to share this, I'm always worried about the copyright. Yep. I think sound effects are probably fine. I'm sure you can find a lot of cool Star Wars-esque sound effects out there. I think that would be a natural thing to do, but I don't know. Music, I don't know. I'm always stuck on this question. I never know what to say.
Yeah, it just depends, right? I mean, we might not be able to upload it to YouTube. It might get flagged for copyright. So
yeah, it's annoying.
Always, yeah. On our website, it will be fine. We can always upload it to the website. But yeah, just anything like YouTube.
Just err on side of caution. You don't need Star Wars music, so I would just avoid it. I know it'd be cool, but like, it kind of complicates things in a way that could be easily avoided by just not doing that.
Yep. Okay.
I got about 5 minutes left, and I'm going to probably end up having to bail. So we'll try to get through as many of these as we can, and then if there's any other questions that are lingering, you know where to find us. You post questions on Facebook. You could go to Discord. You're going to find somebody for sure that has answers to the questions.
Yep.
Scott, go ahead.
My shot was not showcased in the compilation video. I was a little upset. Oh, I'm sorry about that. But I would love to know if there's any benchmark for these shots to be showcased in compilation videos. That's a good question.
Yeah. So this is something that I'd like to be able to address better. I'd like to be able to explain to people. Like I don't like the idea of people working hard for a month, submitting something, and then it just doesn't even show up in any videos. There are lots of reasons for this. Sometimes it's because what was submitted is inappropriate. Sometimes they like there was a problem with the file. It's usually what the problem is, I think. I think Scott, I think Tabitha and Veronica probably have a lot more perspective on. Scott, you might even have some specific ideas as to what would make something not make the compilation video.
Yep.
Give us some examples.
Yeah, sure. So also the way it's kind of run is we have a voting system internal. We're looking at switching it to
Right.
an external voting system.
Yeah.
And so we take kind of the top voted ones and put them together in a compilation as well. So it's maybe, who knows? As Brent said, yeah, there could have been some issues with the actual video file. Maybe what was a good example just recently? It could have been for the month after, or it was submitted late. There's a lots of reasons why it might not make it into what we call kind of like the top 25 tier or something like that. But keep trying. Like don't give up. We do post these on YouTube, so they are available for people to see.
That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I forgot about that too. Like the compilation videos are only made out of the top 25-ish. And so if you didn't make it there, that means that just it wasn't quite good enough in relation to the ones that did make it to the video. That being said, what I would like to see us do is make sure we have a gallery that everyone can go, so that everyone can see everyone's work. It just won't. There's a lot of work and time that goes into making these videos. It would also be very difficult to make a whole compilation video with all of the work in it. So yes, I totally get it. That would feel frustrating to me too if I worked really hard on something and it didn't make the compilation video. So we're trying to find ways of at least giving recognition by at least having it in a global gallery of all submissions. So bear with us. We're trying to make it better for everybody.
Absolutely.
I'll do this one. How long must the animation demo reel short be? Demo reel short must be face red derby eyes. Oh, sorry. I'm just trying to that emoji that came in there. Then I don't. I think so. We said 10 to 15 seconds is basically what it should be.
Yep.
It's not a demo reel. It is a animation that's specifically tuned for the theme for the month, which is Star Wars Light versus Dark.
Yep. This isn't so much a question, but Dane Romley's one of our regulars in Discord, and having a place that us working professionals can join and be part of great animation community, it's been so nice and refreshing. So if you are new to AnimChallenge and you've stumbled across this, thanks Dane for giving it a shout out. But there's some really cool people in there, so please, feel free to take a look at the Discord and jump in there. You'll get to meet some awesome people on the same journey.
Thanks, Dane.
Thanks, Dane.
Ender, another question from you. Question: no limitations on the level of violence in the animation. I mean, bloody fight, head cut off, etc. I think I would keep it PG or PG-13 at least. Let's use your discretion.
So a quick anecdote. Last month we had the superhero challenge, which was a charity for kids, and we'd sort of said they could vote. I sent the whole playlist to them so the kids could watch it and vote. Little did I know, because I hadn't had a chance to watch it yet, and this is my fault. There were animations of Spider-Man getting eaten in half by a dragon, or someone ripping their eyeball out.
Oh man!
So maybe just keep it a
nightmare
bit
fuel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just like, I mean, we want to be able to post this and not have an age restriction on it. You know what I mean? We want to be able to put it on YouTube and everyone can enjoy it. So if you do need to do something violent, find a way of doing it without the gore, I think is basically the way to do it.
Yep.
Basically, kind of like Star Wars, right?
Yep.
Star Wars, basically, they deal with violent things, but they don't overdo the gore. They kind of keep it pretty PG. Lacey Vernon asks, if we submit early with time for questions, could we ask for basic feedback on whether or not it meets the specs for the competition? You will not get feedback from anybody from Agora.Community, but you can for sure get feedback from the community itself. Because basically they're always sharing community back and forth on Discord, on Facebook. Yeah, absolutely. But we won't be able to give any indications, because it would feel we can't obviously answer all questions. We wouldn't want to play favorites in any way, or at least have the optics that we're playing favorites. So we're going to try to stay out of it.
Yep.
Almost done. I'm going to answer these last 5 and then we'll wrap it up.
Yep.
Go ahead, Scott.
Okay, Patar, since there's a lot of money involved, what's stopping a team of people working on one animation and submitting it under one name? Are teams even allowed? What if people cheat the system? Good question.
Yeah,
We haven't
well,
thought of
these
that
are
one.
supposed to. These are not team. They're not supposed to be team projects. We do have aspirations of doing team-based challenges down the road for
Mhm.
sure. But this one is not. This one is just like all the other Anim challenges, and the assumption is that you're doing it on your own. What's stopping you?
Nothing.
Honesty. I would.
Honesty
I
and
would.
karma.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't have any way of knowing or stopping it. I'm just going
Mhm.
to assume that we use the honor system and expect people to play by the rules. So
Yep.
I would hope that when Scott says karma, you are working within a community, and I don't think I don't think anyone would want to get the word out that you cheated on a Anim challenge. It wouldn't. I don't think it would end very well for you.
Mhm.
A Manx. I
I
don't
don't do
do
politics.
politics.
Okay.
Can I just animate Grievous being happy with the Sabres?
Sure.
Absolutely, but you just won't be you won't be able to be qualified in that secondary prize. That's all.
Yep.
Go ahead,
Can we
Scott.
use any background? Yes.
Yeah, as long as it's
Yep.
not obviously copyrighted in some way. Like, I mean, I think you want to be careful with it.
Mhm.
You know, make sure you have the rights to use it, I guess. So it'd have to be like Creative Commons or,
Yep.
I mean, I think there's lots of leeway here because obviously General Grievous is a copyrighted character. We basically, as we're an animation community, we're basically basically fits under fan art. In many ways, we're not making any money off of it.
Mhm.
Um,
Yep.
it's we're just building it for as to inspire and to give tools for people to be able to animate with and to learn how to animate. So I think the same rules would apply to any one of you. So you can probably just try to be respectful with it and maybe give credit where possible. If you're taking someone else's work, I think would be probably pretty good suggestions.
Mhm. Yep.
Last one, I'll take it.
Okay. Go for it.
Question from Devin Turner. Could you guys maybe make a tutorial on how to add lights to the sabers, or is there already one available?
There should be. Take a look inside the rig. We do have the lightsaber rig on our website, so there quite possibly is a tutorial on there.
Mm,
Otherwise, I'm sure online there's plenty. If you want to do a bit of compositing in After Effects afterwards, there's a ton of tutorials out there, and there's even a plugin that we use for After Effects in the announcement video. It's
mm.
called Saber, so check it out. It's free. But yeah, we'll take a look. But there should be. Mm. Yep. And I
Okay.
think there was just one more about just
Oh,
to
okay.
confirm on the audio question. Can you use dialogue from Star Wars? Sure. I don't see why
Yeah,
not,
yeah,
Brent.
for
Yep.
sure.
Awesome. Awesome.
Good stuff. Thanks for
Cool.
hanging out, everybody. I'm
Yeah.
excited for this challenge. We all are. So
Yeah.
we've been working quite hard on getting this ready. Scott's been killing himself getting it ready to go today. You should have saw how mad he was earlier. Wait, after all that work, it went out before we wanted it to go out. But
Okay, can I
there is,
give you some context? It's like 5:30 in the morning for me.
yeah,
I woke up
yeah,
at 3:30, my alarm went off, and so at 4 a.m., before even having my coffee, seeing that everything had been
yeah.
released,
It's the
I was
cat's out of the bag. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
it's the first time we were doing it. So it's all comes
exactly.
down to the mechanisms we use to basically launch things on the websites. So there's probably a little bit of work that needs to be done there to dial in the precision. So that was this the first
Mhm.
time we've ever done kind of like the live announcement, and then we would then put the videos out either during or after the stream. So
Yep,
it's the first time we've encountered this particular need for the absolute precision. So live and learn, right?
exactly. So yeah, have fun, everyone.
Yep.
Thanks so much for everyone being here. It was a good turnout. Brent, I'm wondering if we should maybe just play the announcement video as an outro before we go into the stream ending video,
Yeah.
just to get everyone
Absolutely.
hyped and ready to go.
Let's do it. Oh,
All right.
so we're going to be gone. So when the video is done, we'll be gonzo. So again, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for considering doing the challenge and spread the word.
Yep.
There's some big prizes here, and I'm expecting the showcase to be pretty awesome considering the extra people that will probably be jumping into the ring. So stay animated.
Sounds cool. Thanks, Brent. Good luck, everyone.
Cheers, Scott.